Welcome to GTC's Teaching Tidbits. Each episode, we explore a teaching technique, tip, practice, or idea from faculty for faculty. In our current set of episodes, we are focusing on topics related to teaching hybrid blended courses or fully online courses. And today we have joining us from the English department, Liz Wilfong. Welcome, Liz.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're so glad to have you. Would you share with us just a little bit about your background, the format or formats in which you teach?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been teaching with the English department at Greenville Tech for it's been about 13 years now. And so a lot, of course, has changed in those 13 years. A lot has changed in the last year plus. Like everyone else, I had to go online with my face-to-face classes pretty quickly. And so I wanted to share a tool that was very helpful for me in making that transition today. But currently, I teach online and I teach hybrid, which means one day a week face-to-face, and then the rest of the content is online for the rest of the week. But hopefully you'll find this tool helpful for both kinds of courses.
Yes, thank you, Liz, for sharing some of that. I know that as we continue to teach a lot of hybrid blended and fully online courses, that individuals are looking for additional ways to engage students online, additional ways to deliver course content, and there are many options out there. But
Mm-hmm.
you're here specifically to share with us this tool called Padlet. So
That's right.
I'm going to turn it over to you to
Okay.
share your teaching tidbit.
All right, great. So I figured the best way to show you, let me share my screen here with you. The best way to show what Padlet does is to make a Padlet about it. So hopefully, can you see that? All right, fantastic. So Padlet is basically, it's a free online tool where you make an account. You can actually set it up through your school Gmail. That's how I do it. So everything's nice and streamlined and shareable and easy. You can also have students make these as well for free. You get up to 3 Padlet spaces per free account. If you want an unlimited number, it does cost money, but usually 3 is fine for me. What it is basically is almost like an online bulletin board space. And there are lots of different things that students can do with it and you can do with it. So there are different kinds of formats. This one is just what's called I'm trying to trying to make my adjustments here so I can show you. There's kinds where you can set up where it's like a timeline, where it's like a map that they can put things on, more of like kind of a chat style back and forth. This is just a standard wall. So what's neat is students can post all kinds of different things to it, and it's fully embeddable in Blackboard. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. That has been particularly beneficial for me. So when they want to post something, so I just click that little plus sign there. So it's pretty intuitive. You can see down here in the corner that you can put a title to it. You can write text in it. You can also pick a file from your computer. You can upload images. You can upload documents. That's really good for workshopping stuff, which I'll talk about in just a second. You can Google things and link to that. You can link to pretty much any website. Other Padlets, which I've done here. I'll show you some student example projects in just a second. Just as you can see, there's all kinds of neat things you can do with it. You can record your voice. You can capture videos from your camera, draw on it, all kinds of neat things. So it's got all kinds of nifty features that you might not have in Blackboard, or that might not be quite as easy to navigate in Blackboard. And what's nice is, like I said, it's fully embeddable. So one of the things I like to do is on the first day of class for hybrid classes, I want to make sure from the first day that they know how to get into Blackboard, that they know how to go into course content and go to the week 1 folder, go in and see where all the assignments are, but also get used to the Padlet technology because we're going to be using it a lot in class. So I like to do our first day activity using Padlet. So what I do is I embed a Padlet in the week 1 folder. I send students there, like in class, on their phones or on their tablets or laptops or whatever they bring. And that's where I have them post questions and comments and things like that. And it actually updates in real time, so you can watch people typing on there, which they always think is really neat. But here's a link to that first day of class Padlet that I had this week, with my students. Different background choice this time. It's taking just a minute to load for reasons. So this is from my students. These are the questions they had. I asked them, my icebreaker question is, what's your least favorite holiday? Which I find inspires some interesting questions. But the nice thing is, again, I can embed the Padlet in the class. So what I do is I go down here, it says embed in your blog or website. I copy the link. And then in the first, oh, the toolbar is getting in my way. In the first week of class, I'll make an item. And then I will embed that. I'll put like first day of class activity, what have you. And then I'll embed that Padlet. And what's neat is they don't have to go to the Padlet website. They can actually do it right there in Blackboard, and it will update in real time. So that's been really neat for doing first day of class activities. Again, it gets them to go where they need to that first week. So there it is. They can, like I said, go ahead and click on that plus sign, do it in Blackboard. So I don't like sending them to too many places outside of Blackboard if I can avoid it, but it's a nice seamless transition, I think. So that's one of the things I do. And again, it's a really good way to make sure that they can access the technology, they know where to go. And that way too, we don't have to group people up to do first day activities. And it's also nice for introverts because it allows them to talk without necessarily having to talk if they don't want to. Another thing I like to do with Padlet is workshopping drafts. So we do a lot of that in English classes, but I'm sure with other subjects, there's times where you want them to be sharing progress on work. And the nice thing about doing it as a Padlet versus a discussion board or something like that is that you can have all of them visible. It's almost like you have a big wall and everybody just tacked their papers up on the wall and everybody can see it at one time. And they can leave comments on as well. So I'll embed the Padlet in that week's folder. I will have them post their outlines or drafts. You can, like I said, post a full document. So here's just an example of what it would look like. If they click on it, they can read it just like any other document. But again, they're not having to, go into a discussion board and decide which links they want to click on. They can kind of see it all at one time. And then they can leave comments. There's different kinds of commenting styles depending on the format you pick. But this one, it's over on the side. So this is just an example of what a comment would look like. They can pull them all up at once and see them. You can also have them like rate each other's submissions, rank them, things like that. There's kind of fun, neat tools, different kind of emojis and things they can use. It's kind of fun. So I really like that was very helpful to me in making the transition from face-to-face to fully online, because so much of what we were doing was workshop based at the time. And this allowed me to each week have students posting what they're working on, getting comments from each other, but also comments from me. And that means too that my comments to students are visible to everyone. So something that I said that might be helpful to one student could possibly be helpful to another as well. So everything is just right there, easily accessible. Another thing that's been really cool is it's a really neat alternative to, say, a PowerPoint or Prezi for student projects, for them to showcase the research they've done in online or hybrid classes, where you don't have to take up class time in a hybrid class, because I know that's always at a premium. So I've got a couple of examples of for my 201, that's early American literature class, of two Padlets that I thought, these are made by students, that I thought turned out particularly nicely. I don't really give them much instruction on how to use it. I do teach them how to embed it so they can put it right in Blackboard, so students don't even have to leave Blackboard to see it. But this here is just one example of a student's project on a political group called the Wide Awakes. And as you can see, they can do images, they can do text, and it's again, a nice alternative to the usual PowerPoint. This one was really a nice, attractive looking presentation as well. I mean, you could have students, of course, this one is a timeline, which I wanted to show you an example of what those look like. So they can click on each one, they can look, and again, it's just something a little bit different than the usual PowerPoint and Prezi. And students who've used it in the past have told me they really like it, and that they've actually started using it for their other classes, for storing notes and research materials that they're finding. And it's just kind of a nice place for them to do that. So that, in a nutshell, is Padlet. And there's all kinds of neat things that you can do with it. I'm still learning all kinds of neat things that I can do with it. And I just thought that other people might get some use out of it too. So If you have any questions, you can email me at liz.wilfong@gvltec.edu, and I would be happy to walk you through how to do any of this stuff and anything you need. So thanks so much, and I hope you get some good use out of it.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Welcome.
One of the things that I love about this is not only you're sharing with us again another tool that has just so many options for not only conveying content but really engaging students and getting them to engage with each other. I also love that you pointed out that you have students coming back and telling you they're actually using this tool to help them in their studies and in their work in other classes. So not only is it working from a teaching standpoint, but you're also giving them resources that are helping them be more successful students all
And
around.
other classes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's neat too. I mean, there's all kinds of interesting applications possibly if you have a lot of content that you need to present to students. And the nice thing is once you've made it, it's made, and you don't have to necessarily be rolling things over from one Blackboard to another. There's really no limit to the kind of, the content or size of things that you can put in there. So it might be a nice way to showcase course content to students as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
sharing that with us today.
You're very
And
welcome.
as Liz already mentioned, if you want to continue that conversation or ask further questions, you can contact her, and her email is here on the screen. And also, if you have any questions you'd like answered, topics you'd like to see covered in the Teaching Tidbits series, please reach out and let me know at rachel.cobb@gvltec.edu. And as always, if you have a teaching tidbit worth sharing or you know someone who does, please let me know. We want to get those on the series and be able to share those with all your wonderful colleagues here at GTC. Well, that's this week's GTC Teaching Tidbit, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.